Good afternoon. Happy Sunday. My name is Nyoka Lynn. I wanted to touch on something today. Uh, Spirit was talking to me, my spirit team source, last night and this morning, and I kept hearing different things that folks have said to me over some time. One of them being is, you're not supposed to ask those kind of questions. You know, you're not supposed to know everything. Some things are just meant not to be known. Okay, so there is a thing called conditioning. Conditioning, yes. Over the years, many years, we were conditioned to believe that we were bad upon entering Earth. Upon entering into this incarnation, original sin, we were born unworthy little creatures. Well, that was a lie. And why would they lie on us? Why would they lie on us and want to keep us numb and dumb? And what do I mean by numb and dumb? I'll touch on that in a minute. Yeah, they lied to us. They wanted to have control over us. They didn't want us to know our true divinity, how powerful we are. When you hear that phrase, knowledge is power, it's the truth. It is absolutely the truth. And I'll touch on what type of power it is. Not, oh, I'm going to have power over people. Just give me a moment. So, yeah, numb and dumb. If I wanted to control folks and have them dependent on me and dependent on some savior so that they wouldn't know their true divinity, how powerful they were, I would keep them frustrated. I wouldn't want them to know their power. I wouldn't want them to know that there was a way that they could move through life where they would have victory over things and joy. Yes, I would keep them depressed. I would keep them addicted to things like alcohol and drugs and whatever it is that you use to self-soothe. Because addictions are just coping mechanisms. It's self-soothing. That's how you're trying to survive, how you're trying to hang in there. So instead of letting you know how powerful you were, I would let you know that, hey, don't ask those questions, it's forbidden. It's absolutely forbidden for you to know that. We're not supposed to ask those questions. Who is it that's talking to you? I've been asked that too. Well, anyway. So yeah, if you didn't know your true power, if you didn't know how to work with energy and know how the universe works, I guess it would get pretty frustrating. You would keep continuing cycles of abuse and cycles of just maddening, torturous behaviors. Yeah, numb and dumb. We don't want you to know who you are, but hey, have a drink. It'll fix it. Anyway. And then they make all kind of money on different organizations to fix you. You're not broken. You're misinformed. Yes, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. Yeah. So, how does that fit into my life? See if it fits in yours. I remember a time when I was very young. I had every good intention for my life. I had plans. Yeah. I wanted to do certain things. And I loved being happy and I loved laughing. I loved people. I just liked to have a good time. But what I mean by a good time is laughing and people just getting along with one another and stuff like that. I loved music. I wanted to play music for people. I was writing songs since I was very young. And so I had all these plans. But then life happened. And I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't. And I got depressed. I really got depressed because it seemed like no matter what I touched turned to shit. Yeah, it did. I just couldn't catch a break. Yeah. And yes, I turned to religion and I prayed. Well, don't you know, I've always known that I've had a spirit team. I didn't call it my spirit team back then, but I've always known that I had helpers, I guess you could say. And yeah, they led me through religion. And I wanted to know more. Why did I want to know more? Because I knew the more I learned, the more freedom I gained, the more power I had over my life. Not power over people, that's control. And remember, what you put out, you get back. Yeah. So yeah, I wanted more power over my life. And I asked with a pure heart, is there more? I want to know more. Yeah. For my Bible readers out there, Jesus told them, all these things you can do and greater. What do you think he was talking about before they twisted the scriptures? What do you think he was talking about? He was teaching you how to have rule and reign over your own life, over your own reality, to let you know that, hey, you are a piece of God here, having a human experience. You can create your own reality through your thought process, your beliefs, your emotions. You could create your own reality. And when negative emotions show up, it's like a roadmap saying, hey, detour, take a look at this. Take a look at this. He didn't want you to get all depressed because you didn't know how to handle it. No, he wanted you to see it as it was. It's a guidance system. That's what it is. So yes, the power that you receive through knowledge frees you, liberates you, frees you from the bondage of fear-based beliefs, frees you from not being in alignment with who you truly are. Yes, knowledge is power. Now, let me touch on this. Do you know, as I've mentioned, everything begins with a thought. You are an energy being. You are electric. You are like a big radio receiver. Your belief systems determine your frequency that you are emitting. The frequency you are emitting is calling forth all like things. So if you have knowledge about things, if you are learning about things that gives you freedom, you have a higher frequency. Yeah. They didn't want you to know that. Keep you numb and dumb. But this knowledge, this liberating, free knowledge, frees your vibration up. It makes it rise up. Yes, your thoughts determine your vibration. If you are shameful and guilty, that's like the lowest of low. You're just self-loathing. That's the lowest of low. And it climbs up and climbs up and climbs up and climbs up. Now, if you can function from the frequency of love and above, you're getting somewhere. Yeah. Your life will be evidence. Your peace of mind, your outlook on things. Yeah, you won't have to hope or beg for anything. You'll know. And you'll have enough trust in the universe where if it's not here right today, it's coming. Yes, ask, and it is given. It is done. Yes, indeed. So if you're asking, are you begging and pleading? You ever have a child that begs and pleads for something after you've said yes. Yes, you can have that when the time is right. But that child just keeps begging and pleading. Yeah. They don't have to beg and plead for anything. You got to know who you are. Knowledge is power. And when I say power, like I said, it's not to have power over individuals. Now, I will say this. There are some that have learned how the universe works, and they try to manipulate this power to have control over other people, doing spell work and ill intentions and trying to degrade somebody with their words. Words are spells. Doing all sorts of ugly things. And maybe they don't know how the universe works, but the ones who do, they have to remember what you put out, you get back. That's all part of it. Yeah. You can't run, you can't hide. Doesn't matter what type of costume you wear, and by what I mean is, it doesn't matter what ranking you have in life, whether you are just a common person, a housewife, a mill worker, a police officer, a lawyer, a judge, a football coach. It doesn't matter what role you play on this earth. You are an energy being. Nobody is exempt from universal law. Nobody is exempt from universal law. So how is knowledge power in this sense? It doesn't matter if anybody around you is trying to do you harm. If you respond to it or react to it in an improper way, and what do I mean by an improper way? I'm not saying you have to sit back and accept ill behavior or abuse. What I am saying is, if someone's talking about you, if someone is trying to manipulate your energy behind the scenes, trying to do anything like that, okay, how you respond to that is everything. Now, if you go at them tit for tat, oh, you did this to me, well, I'm doing this back to you, you created a cycle. Maybe you're stuck in that cycle. Maybe you feel hurt, so now you want to hurt somebody, you want to lash out. Well, the sad part about that is, listen, nobody is exempt. And this is where knowledge becomes power. If I know that if I lash out and react the same way you're putting stuff out, it's a cycle. Nobody wins. I don't win. If I want victory over this madness, I sit back and say, okay, why did this show up? What is this teaching me? It can be teaching you all kind of things. First and foremost, don't just react and lash out. Break the cycle. Maybe that's how you grew up. You know, oh, my mom or my aunt or my grandmother didn't take no BS. No, should show you. How were they? Were they sick? Did the same kind of crap keep showing up? Now you've learned these behaviors, and now it's showing up in your life. Yeah, I know. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Yeah, so knowledge is power. Learn how to have rule and reign over your own life for the right reasons. Intent. What you put out, you get back. For every thing that happens, there's a thing that happens. The law of cause and effect. Yeah. And as far as ill behavior, depending on the offense, letting somebody get away with something, if you find out and you let them get away with something, what are you showing them? You're showing them their behavior is acceptable. So if something is done to you and you find out, what are you going to do about it? You handle it properly. Maybe you have to hire a lawyer. Maybe you have to go to the police department. Who knows? You don't have to take ill behavior. But handle it properly. I hear a lot of people say, yeah, well, I'll show them. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to destroy them. They think they can just do this to me. Well, I'm going to destroy them. What you put out, you get back. Yeah. So knowledge is power. Learn that when people show up in your life in harmful ways, It's trying to show you something about yourself. It could be just not accepting the ill behavior. I know a lot of women, basically women, and I'm sure there's plenty of men too, but I know firsthand plenty of women that put up with ill behavior, total disrespect, and they just keep taking it and taking it and taking it. Where's your self-worth? I had to learn that. I used to do that. And I thought, oh, I'm just going to prove how loyal I am. I'm going to prove to them how good I am for them, to them. And then what? It don't work. Maybe that person's not there to change. Maybe that person's mission in your life, the reason they showed up, is to show you something about yourself. Are you going to choose you? Are you going to stand up for yourself? Or are you going to just keep letting me disrespect you, abuse you, misuse you? Yeah. What you put out, you get back. If you put out that you're not good enough for a better life, you'll not have that better life. You'll have people showing up in your life to hurt your feelings one way or another. Now, if you are that person that keeps showing up in people's lives and hurting them, maybe that's the theme you chose. But I also believe that you can change things too. You gotta want to. You gotta step out of your ego fear. Ego's not such a bad thing, but when it's misused, I would imagine it could be pretty harmful. Maybe you can change too. Maybe you can just drop your pride, drop all your fear of getting hurt again, drop whatever it is that's holding you in bondage, and get some freedom in your own life. Yeah, it's possible. Okay, so I wanted to touch on that. Absolutely. Oh, and one other thing. Remember, if you do things according to universal law, when you learn how the universe works, knowledge is power, and these people around you are trying to do things to you, and you think, well, it's weakness if I don't. No, it's not weakness. One of the hardest things I've ever had to do is be around folks that I know that secretly despise me or are lying to me, but I see their humanness as well, and I try to help as much as I can. It's okay. But look, if I act accordingly with the knowledge that I've learned, they can't hurt me. They can't. They can't hurt you. If you are following the guidelines of universal laws, when you know who you really are, and that people show up in your life for reasons, what is the lesson in them showing up? Sit back, be honest with yourself. What behaviors in you are causing them to show up? Address those. Don't blame everybody around you. Don't blame them. But act accordingly. Act accordingly to universal laws. Nothing, no matter what the intent was towards you, nothing is going to hurt you. Might hurt your feelings. Yeah. How's that? How's that old song go? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Yeah. It's like being in a glass dome. It's bulletproof. You got the boogeyman outside making all kind of faces at you, making all kind of threats. They can't touch you. They can't touch you. But you've got to do your part. Knowledge is power. Ask. Ask for knowledge. Look at it. Watch some of my videos. Yeah. I promise you, it's not been an easy road. I've jumped out of windows to get away from a husband that was not so nice. Yeah, I've done all kind of things to try to save myself. Knowledge is power. That's why today I am absolutely thrilled with my peace of mind. Yes. And I'm absolutely grateful for my guides and source for teaching me the way they did, because my heart is not bitter. It's easy for me to forgive because I see things for what they really are. Yeah. And you can too. You're an energy being. You knew you could do this upon entering. So yes, don't let anybody tell you not to ask those kind of questions. I was asked if I was a dragon once. Oh, bless his heart. But look, I may not be a dragon, but I have a pink dragon guide. Chew on that for a little bit. I love my pink dragon. Sounds like fairy tale to you? Sounds like batshit crazy? Chew on it. It's ancient knowledge. I love my pink dragon. Okay, that's enough of that. I hope you are having a wonderful Sunday. I hope your morning was wonderful, and I hope your afternoon is even better. Put your feet out in the grass, catch a few rays. I'm hoping it rains, actually. Yeah, I could use a little rain. All right, my name is Nayoka Lynn. Enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste.